The Corrs Talk on Corners was one of last year's biggest selling albums, and 1999 looks likely to be yet another amazing year for the Irish family foursome. With not only a world tour, but a new album as well, I caught up with them in rehearsals. Now, are you lot looking forward to recording your new album?
Yeah, we're really looking forward to doing the third album. We've had an absolutely fantastic tour of the UK and Ireland, and looking forward to getting writing again, and that'll probably happen early spring, I'd say.
So do you have a title for the new album yet?
We have no idea at all what we're going to be doing for, as yet. But I mean, we've got some ideas, but nothing concrete really. No ideas for names or songs or anything else.
So tell me, when you're recording a new album, does the location actually matter?
Well, I think from our past history, it's kind of obvious that it doesn't really matter the location of where we record. But having said that, I think we really hope to record this album in Ireland because it's home, I mean, we've had a great time in all the different studios that we were in Los Angeles on the last two albums. So.
And does recording come easier with time?
It does get easier with time. I think you become more confident on your individual instrument and your individual role in the band, and you're not so uptight or inhibited if you've got this huge producer working with you, or people who are well established with you because you're quite well established yourself. So it's a much more fun process nowadays. I think when we were younger it was quite frightening really to start with.
Now your mega success hasn't come overnight. I mean, you've been touring for several years. Are there any favourite places that you'd like to go back to again?
I think Australia was a big memory for us because the first place our record took off. So I mean, we've been there about 3 or 4 times already, but we'd always want to go back to Australia. And we love Spain as well. Spain's a big one for us. Yeah, it's just so beautiful. There's a lot of cities that are really good, like like Madrid and Barcelona and London's also great for going out. There's a great vibe in the city, it's very vibrant. And New York is fantastic too.
It's great that we never actually we're never in any place long enough to tire of it, which is great. We're just constantly moving and seeing the best of each city. It's fun.
And finally, for some individual questions, Caroline, let's start with you. You're the drummer in the band. At what age did you actually start playing the drums?
I actually started when I was I think I was 17 or 18 when I actually started, so I was quite late coming into the drums because I originally played piano in the band, which was like the very beginning. But a boyfriend of mine at the time had a drum kit and he played, and he was a mad fan of U2. I remember at the time Larry Mullen was a huge fan of him. So he sort of showed me a few basic beats, and I just got into it, and then we just decided to incorporate it into the band, and from then on I became the drummer. So it was hard work to begin with, but it's where I'm most comfortable on stage.
Do you think it actually makes a difference that you're a female drummer? Because there aren't many around.
Yeah, I mean there is a few female drummers, but there isn't enough, it seems. I think it still seems to be much more of a male thing to do, and I don't really know why that is. I suppose it is a little bit strange, and I think when we used to first tour, I used to see an awful lot of people in the audience sort of just look at me and go, "Wow, she's playing the drums. Is she really playing?" And I'm going, "Yeah," but I mean it is a little bit strange, but I mean it's a brilliant thing. I think there should be more girls playing, because it's not difficult, It's just something you just practice like any instrument,
What was it like when you were performing with the Rolling Stones?
Performing with the Rolling Stones was amazing. We did 3 gigs with them already, Mannheim, Berlin, Prague. And for us, it was just seeing them on stage. Forget us doing our gig or whatever like that. We just, we wanted to see them perform. And I have to say, they're a band that would put any young band to shame with the type of performance they put on. And it was just, they're the biggest band in the world, so it was just a huge thing for us.
And Sharon, moving on to your questions, what's the best aspect about working with your family?
Oh, good question. Well, I think there's a great sense of teamwork and there's a great sense of togetherness with your family. We work very well together. It could go a different way. I mean, I think a lot of families don't get on. We happen to get on, so it works great. And I think we've been exposed to the same music from a very young age, so we have similar tastes musically, so that makes it easier to write songs.
So how long have you actually been playing the violin for?
I started playing the violin when I was about 6.5. And what actually happened was there was a violin teacher that was new in our town, and he was starting pupils off at the age of 3. So they tried Caroline out first because she was 3, but she was much more interested in the fact that he had big ears and red hair and freckles. So she couldn't keep her concentration. So I got sent to violin lessons, and then I just kept it up for years, and I'm still playing it in the band.
And when a concert's all over, I mean, how do you wind down? How do you actually relax?
Well, it takes a while to wind down after concerts. You're usually just full of adrenaline. I don't know, sometimes it's nice to have a glass of wine or whatever after the show. Sometimes we'll go out, but very often we're usually working early the next day, or we have another show the next day, so you can't afford really to party. But I think it takes about 2 hours. Sometimes it's good to have maybe a drink or have a nice long bath and just take time before you get into bed.
Okay, Jim, now you're the man of the band. Tell me, do you prefer playing the keyboards or the guitar? Because you can play both really well.
Well, keyboards was my first instrument. My father first started teaching me, I think, when I was about 3 or 4. And I started learning guitar. I was taught by a neighbour when I was 13. So I think because keyboards give you a lot more versatility, because if you can play keyboards, you can also play drums, you can also play the bass, you can play the saxophone on the keyboard, you know, with sampling technology. So it's much more versatile. So I have to say that keyboards would be my favourite instrument.
And outside music, I hear that you are passionate about Formula One. So do you actually get to go to any races?
It's funny, Formula One racing is a very recent addiction for me, and I was very lucky to have the chance opportunity to meet with David Coulthard at the filming of An Audience with Rod Stewart. And he came up to us and told us how much he loved our music, and I was saying, my God, I mean, you know, I'm a big fan of yours. And he was really, really nice, and I think we had a drink together, and then he invited me to go to Monte Carlo. Now, I've never been to a Grand Prix in my life before, so I didn't know what to expect, and you don't honestly get the full sense of what it's about until you're actually there in the flesh, and it's exhilarating. There's the ear-deafening noises of the cars as they pass you, and I was very lucky I got into the pits in the area where they assemble and deassemble the cars, and you could eat your dinner off the floor. It's unbelievably clean. But you know, that was a wonderful opportunity. Unfortunately, with the amount of, I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing. We've got fantastic success at the moment, but it just means that we've very little free time. We've got about 3 weeks coming up, which is going to be off soon, which is great. But that's the downside. But you know, you got to make hay while the sun shines.
So what did you actually do before you decided to get together with your 3 sisters and form the band?
I lived in Germany for about 1.5 years and actually toured with a pop rock band over there, and they were living in a place called Mainz, just outside Frankfurt, and we'd great fun just touring around all the army bases and the Air Force bases, and I did that way before, obviously, we got the family band together, and it was a wonderful experience.
And Andrea, you're so busy in the band. When you get time off, what do you actually do?
Well, when I get spare time, I like walking, new places, drinking tea, going out with friends, the usual stuff really, making dinner. I like cooking, I love reading, and talking with friends.
So if you're going to really pig out, what would be your ideal food to do it on?
This is bore at this stage, but I'll always like it. It's cod with tomatoes and olive oil, and it's beautiful, baked cod. I like it a lot. And biased, of course.
People always say how stylish you all look in the band. What kind of clothes do you actually like to wear?
Clothes-wise, I get into a rut and I could wear the same thing every day because it makes me feel comfortable. And that doesn't really look very good because people go, ah. But, I like long skirts and little black tops, so I kind of buy that a lot. Designers, I mean, we are dressed a lot by Versace, and I like clothes. I like clothes from anywhere. It doesn't matter. And I mean, if it's pretty to me, it's fine.
Well, guys, I just want to say a big thank you for taking the time out to speak to us, and I wish the Corrs all the best in the future.